Ladies, gentlemen, and others in chat, welcome to another drawing stream. Just a quick hydration check at the start. Where's my phone? There's my phone! We will just dive straight into it, reviewing yesterday's notes. So, for the ellipses, we are going to play a little bit more with perspective. And see if we can not just keeping them like consistent along the line in like terms of shapes and size, but also going from big, small, and broader, and thereby creating a sense that it for an old school reference, it's coming right at us. So yeah, something like that. Play around with perspective in addition to the regular old trusty basic. Gotta keep the basics in there. For the parallel lines that needs to be evenly spaced, we need to sort of we're looking for natural curves. Like this is, like for instance, this angle in the dialogue is very natural, on the diagonal is very natural for me to draw because I'm right-handed. And I prefer to draw away from me rather than towards me. Right? So we need to find something similar for I suspect that this is curves that go this way rather than curves that go this way. I don't know. We'll have to see. Try to be a little bit mindful of that, of finding what is a natural. And in that case, I suppose the S curve is very good because then you have a curve that goes this way and that way. Rotating basic forms. I just have to pay closer attention to reference. I suspect that is because I made a lot of mistakes that ate up my time because I was stuck on old conceptions. It's go like, oh yeah, they need to be parallel, but they're not necessarily parallel. They are converging, right? And because I wasn't paying attention to the reference, I was just going off what made sense in my head rather than paying attention to the reference, which I made mistakes, which I wasted time trying to correct. And with the basic with the intersecting forms, I'm gonna try the outline first, or alternatively outline, but I'm thinking about like, what if we draw the box first completely and then draw the cylinder? Because the box, at least the box, the way that it is here, that is pretty much just the outline. Like you have one line here. That is sort of like an internal line, if you will. Everything else is just outline, 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 outline. So I think we shall endure a single internal line and then draw the box and then focus on getting the cylinder in place. And then we can do the cylinder on its separate on a separate layer, and then yeah, temp layer style as we go. Mannequin, just keep at it. It's going to be a little bit interesting with this today's reference, because especially with regards to the silhouette, because I'm not entirely sure. What is that face? Anyway, I'm not entirely sure how, like, should I do the cape? Because that is a part of the silhouette, right? I sort of, like, up to this point more or less focused exclusively on just the figure and ignored any accessories, like, for the most part. So I'm not entirely sure, but also with the, regardless of whether I go for the cape or not, the silhouette is, I need to focus more on accuracy than completion. And I'm not entirely sure what the best approach to that is. Am I gonna do it like I do with these others, like draw and draw and take a guess, and then, you know, I'm gonna take a guess and then compare, and then, you know, adjust, draw again, compare. I mean, it works. It's slow going, but then again, I have time to spare. Like, I speed through it, so thereby getting more accurate, and getting more accurate and doing that enough times until I get fast, because I mentioned several times before, speed is just a byproduct. It's not necessarily so much an end goal in and of itself. It's just a byproduct because you're so driven in the process. Automation, muscle memory, and you've internalized it, so you just do it without necessarily thinking too much about it. But anyway, 3 minutes of ellipses. Narrow to thin, or narrow to wide, I suppose. And we need to slow down. And the first few ellipses are always a bit wonky. Which is fine. Probably play a bit more with the perspective. probably gonna be it. That is not gonna be it. I was a little bit on poorly planned out curve, but on my end. But the basic idea is you start small and then you go bigger and bigger and bigger until it lights up across. But yeah. The initial curve was poorly planned out, but the basic idea was sound. All right. Oh boy. It's one of those days. Huh. Anyway. Let's try curve this way. Clock, which is basically curving clockwise, okay? It's true, more or less the same curve, but now counterclockwise. Not much of a difference. S curve. Okay. Opposite S curve. Or maybe it's just... Okay. S curve like this. And S curve like this. Yeah. It looks like... I don't know. Is it... There's something about... up and down as opposed to left and right. So it doesn't look like I'm good at going up when I have to go up and down. The curves don't necessarily look that good. But if I go left or right, the curves end up better. Interesting. Interesting observation. Okay. Rotating basic forms for 10 minutes. All right. Now we need to pay attention to le référence. That is reference, not France. But we can pay attention. We can pay attention to the French too if we want to. Let's see here. Okay, that one was pretty close. Cool. Pretty close to. It just needs to be moved a smidge, but that is within acceptable margins. Oh, wrong layer. And it seems to be okay. These two, I don't think that they are parallel either. It definitely needs to converge. Let's try that. I might be overcompensating with the conversion, or maybe not. Converging. That's pretty accurate. I was just off with the placement of it. And I suppose one disadvantage of overshooting your lines is it can be difficult because like you don't know where to place the next line because like where on this line is the next one supposed to go. Right, and that's one advantage. Or disadvantage, I suppose, with the... Is that the right conversion? Converging? Again. No, it's the opposite. I mean, the angle wasn't... I wasn't off that much by the angle, so... Slowing down and paying attention to... What the heck you're doing? It actually helps. In a shocking turn of events. Yeah. This little bugger might need to be a little bit. And this one is pretty parallel. Pretty much parallel. I don't think that these lines converge, but it needs to probably be much narrower. Yeah. Angle is a little bit off, but nothing we can't fix with a bit of transformation. Yeah, chat. Bit of transformation. Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna do the transparent thing because that's just gonna make my brain hurt. That looks correct. Let's see. I mean, it's not wrong from this one out. And there we go. No, we don't need to do that, but this one needs to go like that. And then, if that's the bottom line, we wanted the bottom line there. And that's not that kind of an angle. It's much something like that. Ah, it's close. It's just not super close. Super close. Alright, if I wanna try and get this pretty accurately. There we go. Da, da, da. There we go. And then we don't need any of this because that's going to go behind, disappear behind. Another advantage of. Let's see, can we get working with layers and temp layers? Let's see, can we get this? No, we cannot get that angle. There's the angle. I mean, again, it's pretty close, but the problem with a bunch of pretty close, you have a compounding effect, so you get this drawing debt. Like, yeah, it has a. I mean, that one is pretty parallel to that one. Oh, look at that. So kind of semi-decent at things that needs to be parallel. At just when the angle between stuff is. And this one also needs to be somewhat. That one is pretty parallel. I guess it's just a little. I curved the line a bit too much, but that's okay. We can just nudge it into place and erase away the excess. Oop, that is not a good. And again, off by a few degrees, but so I'm not necessarily super hard on myself on this, but still gotta acknowledge that there's room for improvement. But at the same time, we're not drawing the blueprint for the space shuttle, so be easy on yourself. That is pretty gosh darn good, don't get me wrong. But I guess I suppose another reason why these other lines that I'm putting down turn out to be pretty gosh darn good and wrong. Good is because I correct my mistakes as I go. And this one seems to have a clear line. It's almost like I wonder is that one just going straight down, and that is it is. Good call me. Like again, the placement was a little bit off, but it's always one of those two. Like I'm either off a little bit by the angle or I'm off by the placement, but that's okay. It's okay. And we need to figure out how do we. I suppose these things can now it's converging a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. And maybe that's enough. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. And that's the time. I managed to finish 2 boxes, but they also much within the time limit. But they're also much cleaner, much more confident. So again, it's a speed thing. And I could probably doing those from imagination. I could probably crank them out much faster, but then again, it would also be much rougher. All right. Let's look at this. Dude. Okay. Let's see, is that pretty close? Pretty accurate. Yeah. And then we're just gonna do the one internal line. We're just gonna throw it down there. Oop. It's pretty off with the angle as well. But there you go. Okay, cool. And we're also drawing with a bit of a big brush here. So let's see. Okay, let's just do the. It's just this one is parallel, so we can just sort of check it up against the master. I'm pretty sure that it's parallel. I'm just gonna go with parallel and eat my words later on. Looks pretty accurate. I just need to. I was just wrong with the. Or does it? I always look. They might be converging, or I'm just terrible at drawing straight lines. I just maybe. No, they are converging. Very, very. It's a very, very subtle converging. Okay. Note to self: all lines in these illustrations or these 3D models probably converge. So you might want to. I might should start erring on the side of conversion. Okay, that looks like it's already converging. But it was a horrible placement, though. Not enough, but it was, I dare say, converging. Okay. I suppose that's a trade-off with this method. You do lose time with the cleanup. That's the one advantage of like drawing only the line that you need. It start and stops on a dime. As in it has over it, because you don't have to deal with that. Like, no, you're getting exactly the line that you need. Nothing more, nothing less. So you don't have to worry about cleaning up after yourself, cleaning up your own mess. But, you know, pick your poison, I guess. I think that's pretty spot on. Nope. It's tough. It's tough to evaluate the distances. I get seduced by the thickness of my own lines, I guess. Seduce me, chat. The seductive, thick lines of Kreta. That sounds like a clickbait YouTube video title if I ever heard one. Something like that. Yeah, good enough. We're doing on time. Halfway through. The big question is, can we get this frickin' cylinder done in 5 minutes? Oh my goodness. Okay, no, brush. Okay, there we go. All right, that is a pretty good ellipse. I'm not sure if it's the right size, or it's a terrible placement, I'll give you that. But it just needs to be narrower, which we can just squish and then rotate it a little bit. Boom. But there you go. All right. Now comes the interesting part, because now we sort of like need to hooey pants. How are we gonna solve this? I mean, we could be... No, we're not gonna be lazy. I suspect... Yeah. Like, I kind of cheated with like really overshooting that line to the point where I go like, oh yeah, I can look at that. It's just, it aligns perfectly. Okay, we can build up the cylinder. Okay, we're gonna err on converging lines. No, like that we don't need that line. That disappears completely, because this isn't the true bottom. Like it disappears into the box. So what we need is another ellipse. And I think that it needs to be wider. This might be too wide. Actually not. And even if it's not necessarily perfect, that's fine. Right? We're not gonna need that part. We're gonna have to do some editing later. And oh boy, 2 minutes. I don't think we're gonna make it, because we're gonna run out of time for the edit. Okay. You know what? I think we're just gonna have to sort of like almost roll with it. And essentially just more or less eyeball it. Right? That's that. Something like that. And then we lose all of that interior. And the same thing from here. We kind of just cut across from here. And then down to here, something like that. Which basically means we need that, but we don't need any of this. Right, because all of that disappears behind and on the box. We'll definitely lose the back line and we lose this line. Oh! That is right on the money, time-wise. Let's see. I'm kind of nervous to see how we did. We had a solid foundation. Oh, look at that, chat. It's not that bad. Again, I missed the angle here, but like this one was pretty accurate. The one in the front, pretty accurate. The one in the back also. It's this interior line, but like, god dang, that is like a 90% success rate or something like that. Which is and it's complete too. I'll take that as an absolute win. So that was that was a solid approach. Just start with the box. Yeah, basically complete one shape and then complete the other shape on a separate layer. You know, gradually build up the second, build up the first shape using temp layers. Check as you go. Build up the second shape or second form, I suppose, using temp layers, and check as you go, and then commit to the final, and then do the final edit and erase away the lines that you don't need, and so on and so forth. Go like, yeah. Had it not been for the time limit, I could have probably nailed that one much more accurately. Okay. Anyway. Right. 10-minute mannequin. Let's do... I don't think we've done Mr. Wizard before. I don't know. My memory is so fussy. Okay, so we have like rib cage and then pelvis. I would say his arm. This one is a little bit more shoulder. There's some heavy duty for shortening going on here. Staff. Whatever. Hips going this way if you want to really exaggerate it. This one, this leg goes forward a little bit as a foot. This one is kind of like just, kind of just disappears behind. Like that. And then, and then. Alright. Head might need to be a little bit bigger, I don't know. The whole dude just needs to be higher. Yeah. But that's about it. Okay, cool, awesome. Thank you for your service, Mr. Gesture. And let's just refine you into a... It's interesting because like this one here, like there's a different twisting action going on with his torso, and I like to capture that. So we have, you see some of his, the side of his, this side. Right, and then we have shoulder, or rather, now it becomes a little bit. Let's do this. I'll tilt it to push the pose. Gotta remember, push the pose, chat. Then we have the other shoulder here, bottom plane, and his hips are kind of like low-key going down this way then. Low-key, I say, as I really tilt them, but hey. Because you see... Yeah. That, and then you have like one sphere, second sphere. I don't know. I kind of like him when he sort of like raises his head a little bit, like, give me awesome magical powers, ancient dragon Cthulhu, help a bro out. What's this wrist doing? I don't know. There we go. Something like that. I don't know. This leg comes forward. Like that. And then the other one is kind of just like, you have that one, and then the other one is kind of like flat down. Kind of. Right. That's the foot. That foot might be a bit too wide. That's too narrow again. Okay. Whatevs. And the other one is kind of like coming down like that. And then you have the knee thing, and then you have the other, like the back. Oh. I really lost that. I'm not sure if this... It doesn't feel like this pose is balanced, because like this... Yeah. Maybe I could salvage this. It doesn't feel like this pose is particularly well balanced, because it feels like this foot needs to be a little bit more out here, because he's supporting his weight with both legs, right? So I was trying to get some of that. I don't know. That look. Yeah. Or maybe it's a staff which is also using for support. I don't know. This pose is tripping me out, man. Tripping me out. Pose archive. Yeah, and then just kind of just like, yeah. There's a hand, like really foreshortened. I'm supposed to see a little bit of the foot peeking out there. Something like that, a ground plane. And then, oh, did I do the zoom in thing? It kind of stops. Something like that. Let's just clean this up a little bit. So it's a little bit clearer what's in front, what's all this stuff needs to go away. And then that stuff can go away. I suppose this one goes behind to better show. Alright, that one goes there. Cleaning this up, this mess up, like that. And I also suspect that his whole torso might also need to be a little bit more. Straighten it up a little bit more. Yeah, because like if his center of mass is like, yeah, because like it needs to be like you draw a vertical line from like the base of the neck, and that's your point of gravity, and his, right, because you do it here and you sort of see like it kind of lands. That's where how he's balancing himself, and mine is a little bit off balance, but you know. But this one is also fairly close to the pose, but also carries with itself a little bit more. Again, it's again faithful, but also dynamic, exaggerated enough. I also kind of like the twisted the pose enough that I kind of like you have that twisting action going on there. A twist in the pose. Very nice. How are we doing on time, by the way? Oh, would you look at that? 20 seconds ago. That's good. That's good. Yeah, you can see traces of the gesture, which is good, because it kind of like you see my like, yeah, I think that was very good, especially for me, who's got like really hung up on. I've drawn the gesture, and I struggle to sort of let go of the gesture. Like, no, that is the foundation, and I have to build very precisely on top of it, rather than starting loose and messy. Not necessarily so messy that it's terrible, but that it, you know, like let me cook. I can cook something with this, basically. Is kind of what I wanted. Okay. So now let's see if we can figure this one out. 10 minutes. Okay, let's just straight up do that. Let's just try. Forget. Let's just do the whole. Draw the silhouette. You know, draw something. And then just, you know, check it. And let's see if, again, just to keep myself a little bit more accountable, let's just work on one layer instead of multiple layers. and not necessarily get too hung up on the accuracy here. Right. And obviously, I've already done goofed because I overshot my lines like an idiot. I think that's too curved. No, it's not. It's actually right. One of those things. Okay. Right. Is that the correct angle? Pretty much. Cool. We have a little bit. I make a couple of lines. I'm kind of already starting to deviate a little bit. But some deviation is good for the soul, because then you don't get stuck in that swamp of perfection, which stagnates your one's growth, or improvement, I should say. Okay. Again, this might just be me huffing and puffing at copium and another form of scaffolding. But, you know. Okay, that's way too much, but okay, interesting. And the interesting thing here, like, we lose that, technically speaking, I suppose we lose that. Oh no, wait, hang on, I don't need to do that. I just need to go, I'm an idiot, I need to go up to about here-ish, because that's where the cape is. I don't need to go up the leg. I'm so, like, almost like indoctrinated to go like, oh yeah, you gotta do the leg because of, you know, I'm in mannequin mode. Oop. I feel like, don't do that. Don't be in mannequin mode. That's bad for you. Okay, cool. I might be screwed on. Oh my goodness. Well, we do get a lot of mileage out of this staff, I might say. Right on the frickin' money. And it kind of goes out a little bit and out again. And then way up. Something like that. Oh, close. Nope. And about here, I think. A bit lower. Here. Ah. We don't need all of this. And we're gonna go like that. And then it goes back in again. And then I suppose we could just go something like that. That is a terrible angle. But whatever. Roughly speaking. And then that roughly where it's at. Yeah, it is. It just needs to go probably a little bit steeper, and we can get rid of all of this mumbo jumbo. Is that where the shoulder starts about here? We're gonna... Oh no. It's not perfect, but again, it's the width. Width is seriously my arch nemesis. Is that like the top of the cap? Nope, it needs to go. How high does that stupid cap go? Not that high, apparently. Stupid hood. Throwing off my... Goes in and then out. Out. Okay. So it kind of just flattens out, and this one goes down, and then the line goes up over. It goes out here, and that down. I'm gonna do the hand thing. I think. Is that a blocking of... That is an incredibly crude blocking of the hand. Which we can probably try and salvage with the time we have. Oh, we have 2 minutes left. Well, we also need to do the cross contour, so... Yeah, I think the easiest way to sort of remedy this is simply just to take this line here and then just inch it a bit closer. I think that is the easiest remedy for the width issue. It's still not perfect. There's some shenanigans with the legs, but it's good enough, I guess. And I suppose again make this. I don't know. Kind of fits. Okay. But I have no... Again, it's an interesting silhouette drawing, but again, now I don't know where to place my my wrapping lines because of the cape. But it is an approach. And I did spend to spend most of my time with it. I did have time to spare, which also suggests that with a different pose, I can also do. Still have time to spare to do the wrapping lines. Oh, but yeah, it's. Interesting. Okay. need to take some notes for Thursday's stream. So save and toggle off the visibility of these things. Right. Still on to something. But like plan my perspective a little better. Plan perspective better. Yeah. Yeah. Next one. Basically clockwise and counterclockwise seems to be the way to go. Like C curves. All right. Up, down. It's a little bit tough to sort of, with such a small sample size. Curves. That? Question mark. We'll just need to experiment a little bit. I would like to have a bigger sampling size before we come into any conclusions, but curves that sort of go up and down seem to be a little harder for me to do. These are very good. They're very good boxes. It's just, you just need to work faster, basically. Yeah, try to work faster. Try to be faster. There's a T in there, but you can't see my note, but I forgot a T. T and faster, but whatever. This one was very good. So yeah, that was a solid. Complete form. Complete form. With temp. Those are my keywords because I have limited note space. Again, I don't really have any notes on my mannequins because I'm just that good, you know. I'm just that awesome. Let me have that one, chat. Keep at it. I might have to eat those words when we do. Eventually, probably gonna move on to tougher poses, like with more foreshortening and overlapping, because these are largely standing poses, which arguably are not necessarily that difficult. Yeah, the silhouette thing. Yeah. Let's see. Compare as you go is good. Let's leave it at that. Like it left me with a positive vibe. I'm happy with the end result, and then the trajectory would simply be over time to do fewer comparisons over time. That would sort of like be my improve so that it will be almost like kind of like with the mannequin, where you do a quick gesture. We could try that, a quick rough, aim for that, like a quick rough line, and like do a rough outline and then a more refined outline. That could also be a thing to aim for, that you do a messy outline, almost like a gestural outline, and then you sort of tighten it in, because you sort of like make mental notes, go like, all right, yeah, he needs to be a little bit tighter. Because that also allows you to be a little loose and gesturally, which keeps helps keeping things alive, look alive, not so rigid. But yeah, I can see the improvement, which is cool. Let's see. Yeah, right. I had the it's really weird because before I started the stream, I was kind of like, you know what? I'm not really feeling this. I'm not really feeling up for drawing. I kind of like, maybe I'll just do the warm-up exercise and then call it a day, because I'm not feeling it. But as I heard before, like, the trick is to sort of just start, and once you kind of like start it, gotten over that, I don't want to do it, starting sucks. Once you've gotten over that hurdle, you kind of go, hang on, this is kind of cool. Okay. So I'm trying. Oh. But can I? Oh, I can, because his head is roughly with the. I mean, let's just. One thing that is really annoying me when it comes to Linux is like you're working. I suppose we could just. A lot of the applications, they're not made with Linux in mind, and you're sort of like, even when you're running it in Windows, or you're running it in Linux, but you're sort of emulating it in we go like, oh yeah, we're taking, we've saved your screenshot and we put it in your pictures folder, but like, I think like it's created like a virtual something that Steam is just emulating. But okay. Oh yeah, like this looks a heck of a lot better than this this Hunchback of Notre Dame abomination. Like, okay, the perspective is a little bit off with but like the top of the door is kind of like, so I can basically, chat, what I'm saying, I can cook with this. I can cook with this. Right? I can cook with this. I can just change that arm. And yeah, I can cook with this. Let me cook, chat. Let me cook. Okay. So he says as he starts cooking. Okay. So there's the top plane. And now I start like a Minecraft villager. Speaking of Minecraft, the hightail craze. It wasn't for drawing. I might have gone like, maybe I should have just hop on to buy hightail and start streaming that just for shit. And hop onto the hype train. I don't know. How you doing, fellow kids? Pinch is probably somewhere along here. Hang on. Yeah, okay, yeah, it looks... But he's also like hunched. I don't know. Maybe I'm just following the reference a little bit too closely. Because like I want that. I really want that. I really want that forward tilt of the torso to come through. Right. We see practically all of the top plane of his shoulders, but of course you have the neck and stuff in the way, so drawing through the forms. And again, this whole thing might have been easier if I just drawn it big and then shrunk it down. But you know, here we are, and you know, 1000% zoom. Let's frickin' go. What am I doing with my life? Yeah, and another, speaking again, like weird tangent. Because we're in Tangent Town. And Tangent Town. Term actually works. Tangent will. Another weird streaming idea that I had, because I was just the other day I was looking through my Steam library and go like, I have a lot of games there that I haven't basically not touched at all. I was go like, maybe I should just start a streaming series of like backlog gaming, where I'm just trying to get through my Steam library, my backlog of Steam games, because there is some games there that are like genuinely single player games. You could like, you just play through them and complete them, and then you'll be quote unquote done with them, and then you can go on with your life. Like, yeah, I got my money's worth from this game. I played it to its completion. Yeah, like I'm that cool. I'm one of those cool kids who complete their games. What are you gonna do about it? No, I'm not gonna give you my autograph just because I completed my Steam back game library. That's not how any of this works. Constructing the form. Only for like 80% of this to be erased afterwards when you're putting in like the legs and arm anatomy. Yeah, well, that's a mood. And another thing, like, granted, I've been playing around with this idea of like starting own cast and just start streaming that instead of YouTube. But another thing that I was thinking, like, maybe I should just start streaming on Discord, like because I'm a member of the Winged Canvas Discord. But then I go like, they had like some identity leakage. I'm not sure if they have super much information on me. But then also the whole age verification thing, and I'm like, I don't want to necessarily shove my passport in front of a webcam. It was bad enough that I had to do it for my Microsoft certification exam. But then again, I suspect Microsoft already have a lot of my information already from credit card payment information, because I bought their operating system when they had cool, good operating systems. Still have it. I still have my Windows XP Professional CD-ROM. I should probably also download the Windows 10 ISO file, just so that I have it in the event, because I still have the extra desktop, but I'm contemplating on turning the desktop that I have. I'm contemplating on turning that into a some sort of like server for self-hosting, and I'm like, it's not exactly a super powerful Uber machine, but for my needs, seems to be decent enough. And if nothing else, I can, upgrade it. That was always an option. Once things fall a little bit, once things become a little bit more normal with regards of prices and whatnot. Because right now it's pretty bad out there, chat. Pretty bad. So I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of happy. And I probably should upgrade it too, because like I haven't. Well, probably gonna need to do something about this. All right. Oh. Push this line in. Make it a bit thinner so that it looks like it's behind, and push this one in. Yeah. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah, there we go. All right, yeah, now we're gonna have the fun part. I have no... You know what? I'm just gonna allude to this whole back leg kind of thing. Yeah. I'm not gonna bother to draw through it because the other leg overlaps it anyway, so yeah. There we go. I kind of butchered the line hierarchy there because I think, yeah, the back line, this line here should have been thinner to show that it's further behind, but I didn't do that. Which is bad. You shouldn't do it. That is a mistake, chat, and you shouldn't make it. Don't make mistakes, chat. That's my job. Basically. Don't make mistakes, chat. That's my job. My job. My responsibility. I'm pretty dedicated to that duty. Man, I should have just... Now that the more I think about it, it's like because I had like these tools of like Art Pose Pro and what is this one called? Easy Pose. I've had these for a long time, and I have somewhat used them, but I don't know. Because like now it's like, oh yeah, you just draw boxes on top of the pose and just go like. Again, it's a tricky pose, but like I kind of like, because I understand, because like I need that dynamic. I need the shoulder line to go this way and the waistline because that is dynamic, and then it's okay if the brow line is flat because, or more or less parallel. And also this is an anime, dude. But we're just gonna ignore that. Even though we're drawing manga, we're not necessarily drawing manga in that style. But again, definitely an option if I wanted to. So we're just gonna. It's very funny. Like the more I think about it, like, oh god dang! In hindsight, like I should have just done X, Y, Z. Why didn't I just do X, Y, Z? If I just did X, Y, Z right out the freaking gate, then I wouldn't be. Then I could have had so much more. I could have so much fun, and I could have just. You know, I could have just. Stop worrying so much about stuff. But no. That is a really pointy chin, but screw it. We're doing pointy chins today. Probably need to move that line a bit further back. There we go. Boom. That is a beautiful head. Alright, and I suppose we could just... There's the neck, base of the neck. Yeah, we'll just do it like that. It's so tiny. It's such a, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, this is... You know, nobody's gonna see that, so... Plus, again, what do you call it? You're not gonna see the mannequin. I won't let you see the mannequin. Right, because now we need to sort of like do a little bit, because the perspective of the door is wrong. Like, it needs to be much more, right? Because the perspective of the door in the illustration goes like this, but in the... I'm not entirely sure if that would then also shrink him, but like, it looks right. Like, the handle is roughly speaking at his waist or hips. Is that waist or hips? I don't know. Which checks out with me, but granted, when I'm... Yeah. He's squatting a little bit down, like when I'm standing up, so he might have... I can probably... I'm gonna try and just do this pose, and then just shrink it, and see how that works. Do the pose as is, and then shrink it down until his hand sort of aligns with this perspective line. If you didn't get any of that, don't worry. I didn't either, so... Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Didn't make any sense when I said it out loud either, but, you know, just let me cook. Let me cook. I want to cook, chat. But I also like that I've seen a little bit of a trend on YouTube in my feed that other people have sort of like had the same epiphany as I have. I had that epiphany before it was cool, by the way. But basically, just do stuff. Like, even if you're not good at the thing, do it anyway. Especially when it comes to drawing. Like, oh yeah, just do it. There was this one guy who just got like how to actually get good at drawing, and it's sort of like, oh yeah, we're not gonna do draw a box or whatnot. It works for some, but it doesn't necessarily work for absolutely everybody. And his sort of like, yeah, and he also did a manga, but like he self-published it. Like he got it published into like a physical book. And I'm like, dang, dude. So that's how he got, you know, his art addiction, for the lack of a better term. And I go like, yeah, I totally, now that I'm doing this, I totally get it. I get it now. Danny DeVito. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think it's from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I get it now. I don't know why he's all banged up, but dude's all banged up, and then he's just sniffing and crying. Like, finally, I get it. I get it now. And it's like, yeah. I don't know what the heck is going on, Danny, but good on you that you finally get it. I don't know what you're getting, but I'm glad that you get it. Yeah. And also, I'm in huge favor of sustainability when it comes to making art. I don't want you to, or at least me personally, don't want to burn out. So, which is why we're doing these. Not sure if that. Oh, that was not a good. Yeah, I'll get probably another temp player. I might be following this mannequin a little bit too closely, but because it's a tricky pose, I kind of want to get it right. Okay. Can I? Yeah, I can. I probably should. I lose the corner of the box of the torso, but like those two lines are so close to one another that I can essentially just use the arm as a base for that, as a basis. All right, so yeah, kind of cool. Oh yeah. And now let's see if I push those lines back, now it becomes much easier for me to see what the heck I'm doing. And gosh darn it, I just said it before and I'll say it again, champ. I really love this whole temp layer approach. Why didn't I'm not No, I don't think I never got that far in originally. I heard about Control Paint, but I never got that far enough into his videos. It's not exactly a course, it's just a bunch of really really good advice, basically. Oh, did I? Oh yeah, I did. Shouldn't do that. There we go. Really good advice when it comes to digital painting. It's like, god dang, it's just so good. Granted, he uses Photoshop, but the temp layer approach you can use as long as your drawing app has layers, you can do it. Which is what makes it so freaking great. I think we're just gonna leave it like that, maybe. Is there something I can? Yeah, it will kind of just become merged with it. I suppose for clarity, I don't think that we're gonna need that kind of a clarity, but we're not gonna need that kind of a clarity, but I'm gonna put that kind of a clarity in it anyway. We pants. I think we forgot something. Yep, we forgot to clean up the interior, which is always a boo-boo, but you know, it is what it is. And I suppose we could also just do just show the joint, and maybe, yeah, there we go. That is some obscene level of detailing that in the grand scheme of things it's not going to show, but whatever. Okay, cool. So that's the entire pose. Now, hold shift and we're going to shrink it down. A little bit. So that it aligns more correctly with the perspective. Right, and then I can sort of just, because if that is like his knuckles, like this is the back of his palm, this part right here, and then we can go with his fingers, kind of like his fingers are here. That's his fingers right there, holding on. And yeah, so that will mean that his sum, if I could not erase but draw, would be like here. There's his sum. That is a beautiful. That is one of the most. That is one of the hideous sums I've drawn in my life, but that's okay. And take it from me, chat. I've drawn some nasty looking sums. You don't want to know. You absolutely do not want to know. But okay, cool. Thank you for your service, Mr. Reference. All right. I mean, that looks pretty good. Okay, what if I... Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna work a little bit indestructive here. We're just gonna go home. We're gonna need another layer. We're gonna put that underneath. And we're gonna do a whole sing and dance of filling this sucker with white so that we can then... I don't think that we're gonna move this mannequin around a lot, but it will give us a lot of that. Probably a clearer idea of what the heck is going on with this dude. And it's also not just this is not a bad exercise to do, because to be able to, probably going to use some of this technique when you want later down the line. If you want to do coloring, is go like, yeah, you can just do a flat color like this. Oh. Maybe I should review when that time comes. Review coloring with Kurt tutorial. Yeah. Oh, look at that. That is clean. And now I can like move him around and he will be like he's super tiny. Tiny little man. But if I... Yeah, like if you're going to... He's going to scale according to perspective. Like if he's standing in front of the elevator, he will be like yay tall. And that's if he's hunched down, like there he's hunched down. Which basically means that the elevator is not to scale? At least not according to the reference, but like, again, it's because it probably needs to be higher, but then if it was higher, you wouldn't see this thing, so. Yeah, because yeah. Right, so it is a bit high, a bit taller than the door, but yeah. Again, yeah, and that just took me a good hour. Yay, I'm super fast. is there really anything else going on here? You're gonna go like, yeah, but that's the blur and that's the like the final line art kind of thing. Oh yeah, right. I would like to. I need to fix, or not necessarily fix. I just need to add, rather, to the sketch here. Something like that. Or is it even higher? I think it's even higher. I think it's... Let's do it like that. Because I don't know. I kind of like it how it aligns with the corner. The corner. We're not going to need this, but we are going to stop it right there. And then we're going to copy paste it because we're lazy. And then we're just going to... No, that's not what we're going to do. We're not that lazy. I'm just going to put that down there. Or now, I suppose we could paste it down because this just needs to be... Now we can erase this down here. We don't need to worry about those lines. We don't need to worry about those lines. We do need to worry about this part here. And then we can just erase all of the stuff that's inside here. Go away like such. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it like that, I think. Yeah. There we go. Ding, 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 ding. Hook. There we go. Ah, pulley pins. There we go. I forgot. This sucker needs to go away. There we go. There we go. Because now we have that little edge, which is this edge that goes out there. Boom. There we go. It's coming along, chat. It's coming along. Who dares disturb? Never mind. It's just mom. Just looking forward to it. But you know, 2 hours. It was a productive little hour. I kind of set out to do what I wanted to do. And a little bit more. Because again, like I'm a little bit in a bind, as I mentioned this time, because I need references. The last thing the last thumbnail page is this page right here. I kind of like started with a sketch, and it's just, I have an idea what I want. Let's see. I can show you. Turtle runner. Images. Boonk. I mean, we could. Unironically, the pose is. What was that clicking noise? It really spiked in. Oh. That was just a copy image. Okay. R. Like, that's the kind of, but you can sort of see. I'm not sure if it fits perfectly the perspective that I have in mind. But you kind of see the vision, right? It'll be something like that. So you see that I'm almost there, right? Mine is possibly a little bit more extreme than the pose, but like doesn't, because again you have the hurdle here, which gives you an idea of the perspective, but then again, yeah, we could try. We could, and because we could, we shall. At least until I probably still need to do something with her, because like mapping her costume onto this pose without a reference, it's just because again, this is a very advanced character design for me, and I'm not that confident in my ability to map it onto a mannequin. Sorry to say. Have confidence. Okay. You super athletic person, you. Thank you for... Let's see. Yeah, so you're leaning forward. Okay, so that means that this goes this way. Alright. Get rid of that. It's so funny. Like, oh yeah, I don't know. Let me see if I can find a quick and dirty reference picture for you for like the general pose. And I got like, boom. It was like the third picture that came up on Google Images. It was like, oh, like dang. That's pretty much like exactly what the doctor ordered. Like, what the heck? Hello? I thought it was just AI slop. Which is why I'm after making my own references. Or alternatively going purchasing. Yeah. Oh. Speaking of purchasing, I mentioned it last stream that I was like panic buying Arkham Horror living card game, and in my panic buying I got the Dream Eaters expansion instead of Investigator expansion, and I struggle to find like, but at work today it was a little bit quiet at work today, so I did some Googling there, and lo and behold, I found a chat. I found it on a German site. I was like, maybe it's possible. My German is very rusty, so I go like, it's possible that they have it listed, but like it's out of stock and they won't be able to reorder it, because it was something like, yeah, you know, this is expected to come in stock within the. We don't currently have it, but it's expected to come within the first quarter or something. Quarter 1, 26. I'm like, you know what? I am going to put in an order. And as far as I can tell, they did charge, but I paid also via PayPal, so extra financial security, I guess. How the heck is this disease? They go like that, but we also see a bottom plane, so I guess it goes back. Need to get my head in the game here. Yeah, probably like that. Something like that. So I figured, like, screw it. Let's not be fiscal response. Let's not show any fiscal responsibility here, and just slap some money on the table for the German shop. And if they have it, I will get it from Germany. And if they don't have it, because I will probably get an we're sorry for the inconvenience, but we don't have we're unable to resign, which happened. The first my go-to shop for board gaming stuff, they also go like, no, sorry, like we are unable to get the thing that you requested, so we have removed it from your order. Sorry for the inconvenience, kind of stuff. Go like, okay, good. Or I wasn't like, okay. I was like, God damn it. I want my stuff. I want a full set. Which is incredibly, it's a stupid mindset, but. And I'm kind of kicking myself because I was like, oh yeah, be careful. Had I like. I did buy a lot of it because I remember I was sort of like kicking myself because I spent a lot of my vacation money before my job situation went semi down the drain. So I was like, God dang it, I shouldn't have done that. I should have saved that vacation money. But now I'm glad that I did, because like it's going out, the stuff is going out of print. But which again, to be fair, like it makes sense. The game, the series has been in circulation for 10 years, so it makes sense that they're pulling the plug. I'm not necessarily mad at them for that. It's just I wish I had been more diligent, because I like the game, but I've been sleeping on it because I go like, yeah, I'll do it one day. I'll get one of these days. I will get around to it. I kind of like thought of it, go like, yeah, that's gonna be like my go-to birthday present, because like I don't really want anything. I'm at that stage in my life where like, what do you want for your birthday? What do you wish for Christmas? I go like, I don't know. Like, dude, if I want something, I will just buy it myself. Tried to tell that to my sister, and she was like, no, 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 non-acceptable. We need to buy you something. And I'm like, ugh. So, it becomes the boring. Become that boring dude. That boring, responsible adult, and go like, alright, yeah, give me some socks. I'm at the sock stage. Sock presents. Give me socks for presents. And instead, yeah. And to my sister's credit, that's what she gave me. Go like, oh yeah, cool, I got socks. As far as my nephew is concerned, I am Uncle Lego. Hang on. That is some crazy foreshortening. Like, lady, her elbow is just there. Dang. That is some crazy foreshortening of that arm. Or upper arm. Like, what the heck? Lady, you can't just be running around foreshortening your arms like that when people are using your photo of your athletic achievements and accomplishments for art references. You know, just... That's just rude. I'm shocked. Shocked, I'm telling you. Alright, and the wrist is a bit... It's boxy. Oh. That's how we do it. It's something like that. Or rather... And... Oh. Ah, pulley pants, of course. Now I'm sort of like being very faithful to the reference, but I also notice like she's not going to be running, her arms are not going to be like that. Her arms are going to be different. But screw it. If nothing else, it's not a waste. It's a good, again, good practice to analyze reference images. Let me cope. Let me huff that copium, chat. Leave me alone. Leave Brittany alone. Hang on, I'm not Brittany, I'm Diggy. Oh well. Brittany, Diggy, potato, potato. Except I wasn't doing much singing in the early 2000s. Oh well. Alright, like, out of context, that hand pose does not look good. But, you know. That doesn't look good, chat. That looks... like... She's not... No, she's not. The reference... The mannequin is not doing... It's not doing the... It's doing the thing. You're like, no. No. Not doing the thing. Stop it. Stop it. Not doing the... I guess it says something about the media landscape. If so, that was my like go-to reaction. Like, hang on, wait a minute. It says something about the media landscape. Alright, cool. Let's just get the head in, roughly speaking. Yeah, something like that. The bottom of her chin disappears behind her arm. Love to see it. There's the brow line. And then... what is that line, this line here called? I don't think it has a specific name. It's just... temple line? As in, like, it goes from the corner of the temple to... I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so we're just gonna jawline, I suppose. Might be a little bit too squarish of a jaw, but I suppose screw it. We just need a placeholder somewhere. There we go. Beautiful. Right, and it's entirely like it's a little bit too like it's too straight in 3/4 perspective, and it needs to like what's going like this. I'm guessing a line like this. It goes up, but we see more of this side of the box than we're seeing this side of the box. Or are we? Like, trying to sort of... no, because like that arm is right. So again, if you want to balance it, you know, the pinch is here, the stretch is there. Pinch, stretch. Right? Because the arm is coming down and the leg is going up. And this one is going back. Drawing from reference is so easy. And her shorts are kind of like flat like that, but I feel like I kind of want to draw it like to really emphasize that pinch. I'm kind of like, because the default is that the rib cage goes forward and the pelvis goes backwards, right? And you have the head here, ding ding, right? That is the default, because that is the curve, right? You're going like your spine goes like where, and then goes in here, out with the rib cage, in with the lower back, and then out with the tailbone. But now the back of her head is like here, and then it's sort of like and then you have like very simplified box for the rib cage, right? And then it sort of curves, turn it into a door hinge like that. But I'm kind of worried about, or I'm uncertain of, like, because if you're looking at the front, you're kind of like, there's the angle of the shoulders, right? But do you just see a little bit? Because you see a lot of the side here with the whole armpit thing. But she could also be like twisting. Right, so if like you see that side of the rib cage, but you might see that side of the pelvis, right? Because this leg is shooting forward, right? just as this arm is shooting forward. All right, so you get that twisting action. You do get that twisting action when you're running, right? Because you're sort of, at least with your torso, because the arm that you're throwing forward is swinging that forward, and like your elbow go back. So then you are. Is that what we're dealing with here? Could be. Man, it's a tough pose. It's a tough pose. Okay. But we're still like I'm still happy with the cringe, the pinch. Right? But then if we're gonna go it's something like this. Can you imagine if I'm gonna do this in 10 minutes and you're like, whoa! Then I feel like this is really tripping me off. Maybe it's just maybe we'll just I don't know. My brain is melting, and I did not intend for my brain to melt in this here stream. If I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, this was not my intent by any stretch of the imagination. But here we are. So maybe what if we connect this one, right? And then we can just put a big sphere in there for the knee. I guess we can just, it gets cut off about there. And then come on. What the heck? What the heck, chat? What the heck? Alright. Curve here and another curve there. Yeah. And there we go. That is a hideous sphere, but okay, fine, fair enough. Whatever. And we can do the trademark. Try to do the trademark at the very least. Not sure if we're gonna succeed, but there you go. Right, there's a sort of ankle joint thing. Yeah, we're just gonna do something quick and nasty because now my brain. Well, my brain isn't melting anymore, but we'll get there, chat. Just you wait and see when we get back to the pelvis box. Don't you worry, chat. We will get to the brain melting part in due time. Oh. We'll just... just put down some messy lines because it's just a sketch. Big messy lines, and that we then trim down to something a little bit cleaner. Somewhat usable, acceptable. Boom. All right. Drawing through our forms. Okay. I know there are some absolute madmen who uses boxes as a representation for their needs, but I don't know. I don't know about that, chat. I don't know about that. Oh my goodness, look at that for shortening. Ah, my goodness. It's crazy, chat. And you want me to do all sorts of crazy, fancy costume things on top of this? You crazy person, you. That's not happening. We're gonna need a lot of references. But if I can try to get her in this... Get the model... This model, I might have to hide the skirt. Get the model in this... In a pose somewhat similar to this, except also she needs to hold her gun rod. Then we just need to have to do this entire process all over freaking again. But, you know, this isn't necessarily a complete... it isn't necessarily a complete waste, because I would say I would still learn by analyzing the three-dimensionality of this here pose. Right, and now, lo and behold, I feel like I'm a little bit more confident in where to, weirdly enough, where to put this box. after putting, as weird as it sounds, like, oh yeah, put down the legs first, and then from there, you kind of, you shall find where to put the pelvis box, because normally you go like, oh yeah, find the pelvis first and then put the legs in afterwards, but no. Okay, I might have to like yeah, that one goes away, and I think I need to reinforce this part because this needs to go in front of the box. Yeah, like that. Okay. If I remove the pass, oh, like it looks, that looks cursed. And I think it looks cursed because the box for the ribcage might be, it might need to be a little bit longer. Because I feel like, because now it feels like the ribcage and pelvis box are roughly the same height. And the ribcage is obviously a little bit longer. I believe if you, yeah, because if you're using the sternum as a measuring unit, which is this like tie-like bone that you have at the center of your rib cage, the rib cage is 2 sternums wide and 2 sternums tall. So even with some crazy foreshortening thing going on here, let's see if we can fix this without being distracted by the reference. So we might have to put it down to like here, which is crazy, I know, but yeah, because they're really, she's compressing, so it's almost like it's completely consensually touching each other. It's not the clavicle. It's not. Is it the clavicle? The crest. Like there's a curved bone thing here on the. I know what I'm talking about. I know all the fancy Latin anatomy names, terminology. So yeah, if we do this, that look much better. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's see, I need to get your reference back on track. Oh, not that much. And basically now, well, that was another half an hour. Okay, well, this other shoulder, roughly speaking here, it disappears behind the box, behind the rib cage. And what the heck is it? How did her hand... Because that one, like that arm looks like it's coming straight down, and then in here, and then... Is that what's going on? You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna... I'm not gonna question it. I'm just gonna do this and be on my merry way, methinks. Let's just go like, you know what? You get used to it, just don't think too much about it. Alright. Okay, cool. And then like, we have like a tiny little... Now I'm adhering to line weight and know, because these super thin little lines indicates that it is behind. So we're just gonna do like that. Yeah, very nice. Okay, cool, cool. Messy, but I like it. And I think we might just, you know, just show that it is the hand, placeholder for the hand. Boom. Crank that reference up to maximum. It is much more running, so I could probably take something like that. And now that I think about it, I might want to actually put... Yeah, because this one is not necessarily in front. Now that I think about it. Like, it's good to think like how that structure is, but I generally think that the pelvis itself, the pelvis box, would cover up all of this because it's behind. No, that looks no. That was a terrible idea. Like it does look wrong in some way, but I don't know. Like it looks weird because now it looks like the joint isn't the ball joint is not on the side. It's more like almost at the front, and it's supposed to be much more on the corner, like further out this way, and not cover so much of the front. But screw it. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump into the mic. I was just noise filter. But hey, yeah, you know, progress, which isn't, again, not that far away. Like, of course, the sketch, but again, like he had the leg going out and then back at a terrible angle, and the other leg going up and forward, which is not that difficult. So I had it in my head. It was just kind of like figuring out the 3D-ness of it. And I kind of like the leg pose and pelvis and torso and head. It's basically just the arms so that they can supplement that she's going to hold this gargantuan gun. And also I would like to have a little bit of a funny thing that like this foot kind of just sweeps in and bangs him in the back of the head. But now my brain is totally fried. So that one really fried my brain. Yeah, so there's not going to be any stream tomorrow, but we're going to pick up where we left off on Thursday. Hopefully by then I will have done my homework and prepared a pose of Alicia Klaus so that we can get this one, and I can also refine this pose a little bit. It's fine as it is, but I kind of also maybe want to have a light in front of her. I think I mentioned that. Light in front of her to better, like, she's illuminated from the muscle flare flash of her gun rod because she's blasting this door to Kingdom Come. But yeah. And I might also need to figure out how a pose for him lying on the floor, holding his head. Right. That's a plan for Thursday's stream. So, yeah, until then, thank you so much for stopping by. And keep drawing, keep having fun. I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye-bye.